So we're going to talk about twin flame readings and why mine are different. And I'm going to tell you about the reading I just did this morning with this wonderful woman. Wonderful woman. So I'm going to wait for people to get on, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about twin flame readings, what to look for, why mine are different. Yep, I'm not going to apologize why mine are different, because they are. And what makes them different, right? And what it entails. Okay, so you guys can be comfortable with that, because I mean, I understand that it's fun to get a $25 reading, but there is an old saying, you get what you pay for. And when you add $25 here and you throw $20 there and you throw $20 there, all you're paying for is confusion. And that's not where you want to go, you know? I go with certain healers. I have one that I've been going to for like 3 years now. Previous to that, I had another healer, hypnotherapist healer, I went to from the time I was 32. I mean, I went to her for 25 years. When I find someone I love, I don't budge, because they know me. I don't have to repeat myself. They know the nuances. They know my body language or my fluidity or the lack of fluidity that's coming through. They can feel the energy across the telephone lines or whatever. They know. Okay? So I don't have to keep sharing the same story again and again and again. So tonight, I keep promising you guys that I'm going to do something. So tonight, I'm going to do a numerology twin flame reading. I usually start out by doing somebody that's well known. And if you want to do it, you know, like, let me know here, because at around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which will be 9 o'clock in East Coast, I'll be doing the numerology, and I'll be talking about what these numbers mean for you. Okay, if you guys want to join. So I am going to put it up officially, so you know, and I will be doing that tonight. And the reason I shy away from readings like yes, no questions is because, first of all, you don't have your real name out here, number one. Number two, I don't know what your birth date is, right? If I do a yes, no question. Number three, I don't hear your voice, okay? I don't hear your voice. And the voice has a vibration that can say a lot about a person and what they're going through. The voice alone will tell you a lot. It'll tell you if the person is a muzzled lion. It will tell you if the person is afraid of their own power. It will tell you if this person has been so beaten down that they don't even know what's up or down. It will tell you if a person is in their joy or in their massive depression. The voice. That's why I don't do yes, no questions in tarot readings. And it's not because I'm not good at what I do. It's because I'm not going to give an answer that could change the complete trajectory of someone's life-changing decision. It's a hell of a thing to do that. And I don't disrespect my colleagues who do it, on a side note. It's just something I choose not to do. I could make a shitload of money doing it, believe me. But it's not that I want to suffer. It's that I look at karma as a real thing, and I would hate to give you the wrong answer. So there's certain things I need from you. However, numerology, I can't fuck that up. No one can fuck up numerology, Lifepath numbers. And what makes me different is I've been downloaded how to do numerology so that we get a lot of the nectar and the shadows out of those numbers and what they mean for you. And what they mean if you have a twin or a third party or whatever. So you can understand why you're going through what you're going through. And I can't tell you, I've done a couple clinics. I call them numerology clinics, Lifepath clinics, and they're amazing. People are blown away by how accurate it is. Yeah, because it's your numbers. It's like, if I dial your phone number, you're picking up the phone. No one else is picking up the phone. So numbers are incredibly potent, powerful, and they say a lot. But a basic Lifepath number like 9, 10, 5, who gives a fuck? I mean, it's like, you know how many people have a 5 Lifepath? It means nothing to me. What means a lot to me is the number of the day you were born, and then of course the whole life path number, and there are usually shadow numbers in that. And I'm not going to explain that today. I'll explain it to you in the clinic when I do it. And you'll probably watch me doing some other people. And typically I take Cash App or Venmo, or which is fine. And it's easy enough. And I'm going to actually put up how to pay. And I will be charging, because I do a lot. It's going to be a 15-minute session per person. That's usually what happens, 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to be charging $15, which is the number of the magician. And co-creation, which is 6, which is Venus, which is love and co-creation with the universe. And that, I think that's a fair number. And if you decide to add your person, it'll be an extra $5. So it'll be $20 if you decide. I'm going to do it that way. Then it's easy, because I do spend a lot of time on that with you guys online. And I go fast, but I try to give you as much nectar and information as possible. And also giving you an idea of where if you have shadow numbers, if you have shadow issues, and what to look for and how to overcome it, and what it is that you wanted to challenge yourself on, and how to overcome it. Like, I'll give you an example. 16 is the tower. It's the tower in Kabbalah numerology, and it's the tower in tarot. It literally, 16 is the tower. And the tower is when a foundation is built on shifting sands. It's not a good foundation. You can't rely on it. So you'll get to great heights of success, and then the whole thing will collapse like a house of cards. And it will happen again and again and again. Now, if you look at it like that, as a tower, you're going to say, woe is me, what the hell's going on? What did I do to earn this, right? But if you see it as 7, which is the journey, if you see it as the phoenix being burnt and coming out of the ashes bigger and more powerful, and you see these massive transitions as that, as a positive journey, as a positive growth, right? Kind of like what happened when you were 5 years old, and then you were 10. None of the clothes fit anymore at 10. And then you were 14. You definitely can't wear what you were wearing at 5. And then now you're 26, and you would never conceive of wearing the kind of clothes you wore at 14 or 5. At first, they don't fit. Second, it's not even who you are anymore. And if you could see that as a shedding of the skin, then 16 would no longer have the potency of putting you in a place of confusion, despair, depression, and a sense of failure. Does that make sense? So numbers are really important. And what number you came in says a lot about who you are, what you wanted to accomplish, what kind of challenges were put in front of you, and then so forth. I had a client today. I'm going to tell you a reading I did this morning that I was so, like, again, I just love my guides. I'm really blessed to have a wonderful, a team of light beings that are pretty powerful. So usually I do Akashic readings to get past life downloads. I have to do that separately. And what that means is I'll do like a 15, 20-minute meditation before I make the call to my client to say, well, here's my downloads on your past lives, right? And what's happening, and blah, blah, blah. But as I was starting the reading with her on her numerology, and on a side note, she's from India, okay? And I know this, obviously, I know this by her name. I know this because she told me. So long story short, we talk, and I suddenly get downloads of a Polish woman with a broad face, wearing the typical Polish garb of the 1880s. 1886 is what they actually gave me. And I'm like, your past life, you were a Polish woman, you were a farmer's wife. I'm seeing you dig potatoes, and you're at the church, and you have an obsidian rosary, and it has a cross on it, and you're praying in church, and you're wearing typical. She said, you won't believe. She couldn't believe it. She said, I went to school in a Catholic church, number one. Number two, I actually visited Poland, and it felt like home. Mic drop. I was, okay. Well, they're telling you X, Y, and Z because you cannot hold on to this idea that everything you are is this culture, this lineage, this. And then I went more into it. There was something else that came down from one of her great-great-great-granddaughters that's alive today that she has to heal. And I won't go too much into the details, but it blew my mind. And then I said to her, because they told me to say it, they said, tell her the reason why we're giving you that information, like boom, out of nowhere, because I didn't ask for a past life, it just came out of nowhere, was so that she would believe the rest of the reading as real. That's why they gave me that download for her, so she could be mind blown. Because, no offense, I've lived in Europe. I've never been to Poland. Never, okay? So that was weird for her to tell me I've been there and it felt like home. And so I had to explain to her, that a lot of the countries that we love, we are attracted to. Like my son, great example. My son taught himself Russian, okay? He taught himself how to speak conversational Russian at 16. He has an amazing, amazing connection with Russia from a massive past life that he remembers. So the countries, the continents, the religions, we are attracted to some of them, and we return again and again. Like for me, Paris, France, is a deeply bonded connection, okay? And some other countries, I'm not going to bore you, I'm not going to give you a laundry list, but suffice it to say that if you connect with certain places in the planet, right? Or you have a desire to go, like a feverish desire to visit a country, it's your fucking home. It was your home. It was a place where you once lived. It could be Peru, it could be Bali, it could be India, somewhere in northern India, southern India, Kashmir. I have a huge thing for Kashmir. Like, I wish I could go back to Kashmir, to be honest. Iran was another place that I was enamored by the roses and the domed mosques and the sacred geometry and the way, just incredible passion, and the Arabian horses, okay? So these are homes, okay? These are former homes. I remember when I was 18, I went to a temple, and the temple girls were handing me a sari, and they were going to help me do it. I fucking whipped it up. They were like, whoa, you know how to do this? You've done it before? I went, no, past life. So you've got to kind of like realize that what attracts you is an ancient memory. It's a form of home, okay? And that's what it's about, okay? It's very important that you guys realize that and don't second guess. So if you have a massive desire, like I have a massive, massive desire to go to Glastonbury, to go to Stonehenge, massive, like insanely, like salivating for a truffle chocolate from a Paris shop, okay? And the other place that I have a massive desire to return is the southern part of France, Camargue, and where Mary of Magdalene is reported to have walked. So these things should not be ignored at all, okay? If you're getting downloads to go somewhere, don't fuck around. Like, put your money together, my friend. Like, set up a savings account. Save up, $6,000, $7,000. Go all in. Like, get I don't know, maybe a one-way plane ticket, figure it out when you come back. Or a round trip that is more, that gives you elbow room so you can change it if something happens. But I can tell you that usually when you have these desires, it's because you have divine appointments. Of course, it's kind of like having an appointment with your hairdresser. You can always cancel at the last minute. But in these spiritual divine appointments, there is a pull, and the pull should be honored. And just work with the universe and say, look, I have this desire to go to Rome or to go to Glastonbury. Help me manifest that. Like, show me the way to that end. Because I do know I have divine appointments with myself, with the land, with its people, and probably I have soul contracts that I need to finalize or create new ones. You know what I mean? And so make the effort. Don't say, well, how? Like, I'm working 9 to 5, I'm working paycheck to paycheck. Don't limit yourself to thinking how. Because that's going to be from a place of lack and fear, and that will block the energy. I know you hear that shit all the time. You hear it all the time, and it's probably very annoying. Because you're like, well, yeah, that's all good and true. You kumbaya, great. But I literally do live paycheck to paycheck. For some of you, sadly, it's true. But just because it has been true doesn't mean it needs to continue to be your truth. And that's where you unlock yourself from old patterns of expectation, and you rely on the magic of the universe. The magic. And magic is absolutely your birthright. You are a co-creator of your life. That's why the Akashic Records is a living, breathing library. It's ever moving. It's ever expanding and contracting based on what we believe we deserve, individually and as a collective. And this is why we're having problems. Many of you are having problems with this concept of the new earth, this concept of in a utopian society, which isn't what you might conceive it is. And you might want to think it through rather than feel it through. And when you manifest something and you want to manifest massive transformation, you have to feel it through, not think it through. Because when you think through the monkey mind filtering, it will trip you up. Because it wants logic and it wants a linear A to Z connection. It does not want all the ebbs and flows of a river. It does not want that. It does not want to flow with the current. It wants to know what is at the end of this journey. If I take this path, what will be at the end of the road? That's the monkey mind. In the feeling energy of manifestation, it is, this feels right to me. Boom. This feels right to me. Boom. This feels right to me. So you're going from one path to another path, and you might be zigzagging into the final destination. And then a new destination is revealed. A new desire, a new need to self-express to yourself, to so that you can write that book or that piece of music, or to actually disengage yourself from the nightmarish truth of 9-to-5 jobs or whatever jobs don't honor your incredible talents. And so there's a lot of that kind of perception based on logic, which, remember, logic is a filtered system through 3D thinking, which is a shit show, clearly, okay? And when people feel, it's funny too, I just remembered, Joseph Campbell said to do something. I hope you guys know who Joseph Campbell said, who he was. He did the myths and the Here with a Thousand Faces, and he did a whole interview. I'm trying to remember who interviewed him. I forgot the guy's name, but anyway, at the George Lucas Ranch, where he was, they were talking about the hero and the archetypal heroes and the journey. If you haven't never watched that, it was on the George Lucas Ranch, so it'll be mentioned. You'll know it's a right interview, and it was a series of interviews. And it's philosophy, mythology, and so forth. But anyway, he said, follow your bliss. He also said, do what you love, and it will never be work. And if it's not work, then you're in joy. You could never imagine retiring. Like, I don't see myself retiring. Are you fucking kidding? Why would I do that? That's insane. I love what I do. It's not drudgery, And so when you follow your bliss, I remember there was a time in my life I really, really, really needed money. My husband and I, boy, we were struggling like you have no idea. And I was offered to work with my former sister-in-law, who was making something like, I don't know, 1.5 million a year, that kind of, on mortgage banking, right? And she was asking me if I wanted to join the business, and it didn't feel good. It was insane too, because, I really needed the money. It didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And so I didn't do it. And yeah, we struggled because I did that. I refused an opportunity. And you could have said, well, that opportunity would have gotten you to somewhere, to somewhere, to somewhere. But to be honest with you, in understanding the harshness of working paycheck to paycheck and realizing the reality of that made me probably a more empathetic and a better human being, because to be honest with you, I came from a pretty privileged background, on the side note, just so you know. And that gave me a character, to be honest. And I needed to experience that. And I did. And it was tough, okay? But at the end of the day, every time I followed my bliss, every time I followed my heart, I always landed on my feet. There was a job I had where we were all having fun. It felt like we were making a little bit of money, extra money here and there, but we were all having fun at a bank. And I remember when everything changed. You know how they come in, they decide to re-fucking do everything, and suddenly bosses are firing you. Anyway, so there was what I used to call the bullshit meetings, or the beatings. I used to always call these meetings beatings or bullshit meetings. And I sat on one of those bullshit beatings, and sure enough, the ship of joy was now had been docked, and they were going, and there was a lot of bullying and harassing from the new guard. And I gave my 2 weeks notice with absolutely no fucking, no net. There was no net. I was like, and thank God that my husband trusted me. And I gave my 2 weeks notice, and that was in the 90s. And within a week, I found a job where I needed a computer. I didn't have one, but I lied and said I did. And within 2 weeks, I found a computer from a friend who let me make payments, and I had a brand new job working in software sales and hardware sales, making double the money I ever made in my life. Okay? Because I knew that there was something better. And they just showed me the 8 of Cups, and 8 of Cups is walking away from what you have and saying, I know there's 2 more cups out there, the 10 of Cups, and I want something that's emotionally fulfilling to me. And it was an emotionally fulfilling new career change. I went from banking to software sales during the Y2K. And it was fantastic for me because it was a huge learning curve, and I was very, very much stimulated. My mind was stimulated with new concepts. So what I'm trying to say to you in a nutshell is that you have to feel your way through change. You have to feel your way into manifesting magic and into manifesting the impossible. Because if you allow your logical mind to fucking take over, you're not going to be able to do it. It's not going to work. So tonight, I'm going to do this beautiful, numerology clinic with you guys. Hopefully you'll join. Hopefully you'll share the post. I'm going to actually advertise it. And I hope you're there. And if you're not familiar, thank you, Zell, for saying that. If you're not familiar with Joseph Campbell, look him up. Joseph Campbell was born in the turn of the century, 19th century, obviously. 20th century, 1900s. And he was a philosopher, and I would say philosopher, anthropologist. And he decided, he was in his early 20s, and I forgot where he was educated, but he was highly educated, I believe in the north of America. And he was offered to do a job to teach, and he really didn't want to do what they wanted him to do. So he just waited. He said, look, I didn't have to worry. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids to feed. I starved, but I waited. And finally, there's a college called Sarah something. I'm trying to remember the damn name of that college. It's a very prestigious college. And they said to him, teach whatever the hell you want. Whatever you want, it's yours. Do it. And that's exactly what he did. And he became famous. He's one of the great American minds. And you may want to look him up. And the term follow your bliss, yeah, it comes from him. Follow your bliss. So if you have any questions, I'm going to go. But I wanted to do a quick announcement of the clinic, the numerology clinic we'll be doing tonight. Oh my God, it's good to see you. And Andromeda Flame and I had a wonderful live yesterday, and I uploaded it to the YouTube channel. So if you want to check it out, check it out. It's about the steps of time. It'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're in the Central, that's 2 hours ahead. And if you're in the East Coast, it's 3 hours ahead. And I'm really, really excited. Really, really excited because we are moving to our new farm. Well, it's not new. It's an old farm. There's a lot of work to be done on it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to share, like lives, I hope, with you guys. And it was manifested into reality in spite of a lot of blockages from people, egos. I had to fight my own fears, believe me, I'm a human being. I don't fucking walk on water. So I had my own fears, my own concerns, and I had to keep surrendering to God. I had to keep doing it again and again. There were tears, there were betrayals, there were false promises, and finally the universe, and I had 2 doors, one to go back to France and one to go up to upstate New York. And I just said, God, Source, Angel Mike. I called on all. I just, I made a multiple call, Zoom call to all the light beings, God, and I said, show me the way, because it's been 3 months. Show me the way, and boom, the way was shown. because I went to the mortgage people saying, listen, I don't have the money, so I guess you'll sue me. And they said, hang on, we'll get back to you. How much do you have? And I went, that's what I have. And they went, you got it. It's a deal. I kid you not. And in mortgage banking, I don't think that's a norm. So long story short, when the closing happened, all the numbers of the closing was my birthday. I'm not joking. That was the universe is saying, you're going in the right direction. France is later, not now. This is now. And so here we are. And so I'm telling you, I feel like crying with gratitude because it's our first house. And I started this philosophy of saying to myself, I always win. And when I leap into space, I land on my feet at 40. Because being cautious had made me miserable and feeling trapped in dead-end jobs and dead-end situations. When I began to say, I leap into space, that's literally what it's my mantra. I leap into space and I always land on my feet, is when my life began to change. And when I was afraid of doing something, I would do it. And then years later, I came across the book, The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, which I highly, highly, highly recommend to each and every one of you to buy it and read it. And actually, I would get it on Audible so you can listen to it again and again and again to brainwash yourself. I kid you not. And that book made me realize that I had to tuck in even deeper into surrendering. Yeah, fear happens. And then you chant the mantras. I it's not that I walk my talk, but why would I give you advice I don't actually live? So I when I was in fear, I would just, blockages would go. And eventually, if you ever want me to tell you the actual step-by-step story of how I did this, I will share it with you. But my son's been chanting. And my son chants he chants mantras 30 minutes a day, an hour a day. He'll do it in the shower. He'll literally sit on the bottom of the tub and chant for 30 minutes under the waterfall of the shower to marshal the power of water, which Dr. Emoto taught us all about the power of water, right? And how it can manifest and add more. Yeah, me and my twin, exactly. Yes, we're going up to, yeah. I'm having dinner with my twin tonight, so I won't be there. Yay! That's much more important. I will share with you one day because I don't want to bore you with all of that because I don't want this channel to be about me. I really fucking don't. But the only reason I'm telling you this, honestly, because you know how private I am, right? But the only reason I'm telling you this is to make sure that you realize that I have had problems and I've had to do certain things to surrender. And I've had to use mantras to calm my monkey mind. And I have walked in fear and still pushed and said, I trust you, God. I trust Source. I trust the light team. I trust you guys. I know you know better. And if it's France, then it's France. If it's upstate New York, then it's upstate. Whatever the hell, just show me where and show me how. And so that form of complete surrender to the universe, and to know the universe is not out to fuck you, ever, never. It's never out to fuck you, right? Your monkey mind is more likely to do that than anyone else, to be honest. But going back to the truth, if you can rewire the way you think about your life, about I hate living on this planet, if you could, it's not the planet that's the problem. It never was. It's the infrastructure that's the problem. That's what we're trying to co-create a shift for. That's what the New Earth is all about. That's what the 3-5D split is all about. Go on my YouTube channel and check out the 9 levels to the twin flame journey. Check it out. I have to say it was a pretty good live, in my opinion. I was in the car when I did it. And one of the reasons why, just to, again, answer the pink elephant in the room, the reason why I don't show my face never, actually, never. And I will one day, because there's nothing to show. I'm in my fucking car. The car in the back is a mess. Why would I show you that? You'd be distracted by whatever. Yeah. It's better if you look at this planet and the stars flashing through, right? And this beautiful, because that's exactly what we are, stardust. And that's much more important than what I look like or the color of my lipstick. Does that make sense? So when I have something cool to show you, then I will. And I'll be in the frame, obviously. But until then, what the fuck, right? And what else can I tell you? So yeah, 6 o'clock, be there. And or if you are having dinner with your twin, or you are having dinner with your twin, or you are, and so much, so many hugs. Thank you so much. And I will share one day. And take care of us. Yes. And Spirit is always in always. Yes. Congrats, Tony. That is amazing. Thank you. Hey, Mia. So it's yeah. So 6 o'clock. I need to run. I got to get a couple things, but I'm looking forward to doing this numerology clinic is what I'm calling it, and we'll have fun. We'll you know, and again, it's going to be $15, and if you want to add your twin, that's it's going to be 20, and then you can see how it works for other people and the breakdown of the numerology, and I will put how to pay Venmo and Cash App, and then we'll go from there, okay? And then I want to send you much love and so much love. Sending you love, Lori. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so excited for you, Lori. This is great. So excited for you. So happy. Make sure your chakras are aligned, okay? Before you go to that dinner, Lori, please make sure all your chakras are aligned. Make sure you call on Angel Michael. Make sure your voice, your throat chakra is surrendered to the highest level of good, so that you can have incredible potency in what you share with your twin tonight, okay? All right, my loves, sending you much love on your journey. I will put in the advertisement, you know, the announcement, if you could be so kind as to share it, and we'll go from there. Namaste, be well, take care.